to further discuss this, I'm joined by economist Aki Fatunke. Aki, thank you very much for giving us your time.
Always, Felicity. Good evening and good evening, Nigerians.
Many analysts have predicted an increase in interest rate as the outcome of the MPC, and now we have 22.75%. Were you surprised by this?
Certainly not. I couldn't have been. As a neoliberal economist who have watched the trends and who have watched the brutality and the shocks that has rocked the global scene, of which Nigeria is at the bottom end, it was just waiting for it to happen. I wasn't surprised. And I also was not surprised because if you look at the OECD countries, the US, the UK, also going through some technical depression. I'm talking about UK. You'll find out that one of the things that they have tried to use, we talk of Yellen, if you talk of the Japanese CBN governor, even in Russia, is the aggressive use of the interest rate. Now, when you have now raised it to the level that Mr. Yemi Cardoso has done, it tells me he has a view, his dream of a capacity to be able to help tame inflation. Whether we are going to be able to see that and do it still remains to be seen because of the dynamics of the things that we have in the economy. We are looking at the supply side. Issue is within the supply side. The speculation that have prevailed, the bad behavior that has happened even within the banks, the kind of trust deficits that keeps on greeting, every move of government, and overall that Nigeria is still not producing. We are still not producing. One single commodity, oil, diversification, we haven't done much. Security issues, still very much with us. And the fact that we still don't have a consensus, let me put it that way, a little consensus to say the things we should do. I like what Cardoso is saying as a communicator. It's not so much what he says, but look at his lips, that they are going to be very aggressive. And one of the aggressive things that they needed to do is to do regulation, pursue regulation as high as possible. We have the discordant voices coming to try and put a spike in that book. Hopefully, we are putting that aside. And I hope the politics of that is going to be put aside in terms of moving, regulatory.
Talking about discordant voices, some have argued that cash push inflation can be curtailed by raising inflation rate. Is Nigeria experiencing this? And what other mechanism can the Apex Bank use to tackle inflation?
It is cost put to inflation, Felicity, and absolutely it's gone on. Right now, the headline inflation is talking about 30%, and for people who go behind the scene, if you look at the Hanke inflation index in the real marketplace, not necessarily looking at the basket of goods, what you find is something over and above 30%. What is this? Therefore, telling you there is still some discordance, some dissonance between the monetary, trying to do the best that they need to do, and then the capacity for the farmers to take, whether you take urban inflation, whether you take the headline or you take food inflation, is such that it's still not measuring up. The small scale to medium scale farmers, the trust deficits that has happened in the past 8 years, I dare say, even a bit beyond, is still not restored because of the bandits and the terrorist action and activities. So I am not sure anybody who will deny. My mother in the village, Felicity, perhaps your mom will tell you that if she went in the rural area to the market to go see what she needs to buy, the prices have gone off the roof. It is also more of the capacity of the purchasing power, which the FPI has decided, because borrowing is going to go high. Yes, we could have inflow of FX when confidence is coming, but the SMEs, you and I, our capacity to be able to get cash to go pursue our dailies is still off the roof. It is there, and it is only when the clap comes with a right hand and a left hand, I'm talking about the monetary, I'm also talking about the fiscal, that we begin to speak a little bit much more to this factor, so that one will not be at a decibel, the other will be at the other one. But it is clear that Mr. Yemi Cardoso has retreated. Now, I'm happy about that. Forget about the din and the noise, very painful ones. There's no doubt about that, that we have that in the marketplace. Regulate, regulate, regulate. Infractions, that's the one I want to see. Infractions are quickly identified and heavily punished and penalized. You always find people who are doing some good things. It may be just one, just be two things. Can we bring them forward and then see that those are the kind of examples people should be following? It is a tough call. I dare say it's a tough call.
All right. I wish we had more time, Akin. Thank you very much, as always, for speaking with us. And by the way, my mom makes sure to update me on every price increase.
And when I looked at Felicity, when I looked at, you haven't told me, I haven't seen her, but I know she shakes her head to the right, shakes her head to the left. Felicity, my daughter, things are tough. Things are tough. But
yes, I have to do what I have to do. Thank you very much.
I agree with you, Felicity. Thank you very much for having me.
All right.